Hello, everybody. Hi, I'm Joel, Daddy Property Chef. Okay, so let's have a look at the title again. What is the difference between wanting and needing a new home? Okay, so my dear friend Mia actually asked me this question. So Joel, what's the difference? What's the difference between wanting and needing a new home? Okay, so I believe for most of you, you'll be able to answer this question. But to me, right? Okay, to me, I personally feel that most of the time, buyers nowadays, right? Buyers nowadays, they don't really need a home. It's oh no, I don't the, that didn't sound so correct. Okay, it doesn't mean that they don't need a home, but they are buying more based on wants. Okay, why do I say that? Because over the last 14 years, right, I believe for those of you who have been watching my videos, you all know that in my first decade, I've been doing a lot of new launches. Okay, a lot of new launches. And you notice one thing, if you are in this line long enough, right, you notice one thing, that is a lot of people love new houses. New houses. So let me share with you. Let me just share with you what are the differences. Okay. So when it comes to new houses, right, usually we just do a simple comparison, new versus resale. Okay, usually new houses, right, tends to be a bit smaller, correct? Yeah. And resale houses are usually bigger. Okay, usually bigger. Okay, and when it comes when we are talking about new houses, right, of course, the feeling is better lah, definitely the feeling is better. Then for resale houses, right, sometimes you may think you need to it's second hand. Okay, it's second hand or even third or fourth hand. The feeling may not be so it will not feel as great as a new house. Then but when it comes to new houses, right, then of course usually lesser reno, unless you're those type that wants to tear out the house and design to whatever you like. Okay, for resale, right, usually will need more reno. And also another thing, right, when we talk about resale and new launch, right, resale sometimes the location may be slightly better. Why do I say that? Because as it ages, right, more and more amenities or convenience may be built up around the area. So maybe if you were to ask me, I would say resale sometimes, okay, maybe the amenities around the area is more mature, okay, as compared to a new launch. Okay, maybe not as developed, okay, not as developed as compared to resale. Okay, but it's not for all the case. Is some of the considerations. We just touch on this. Okay, so you see, when we talk about upgraders, okay, we don't talk about first home. First home, usually most people would prefer something new. We prefer something new. But when we are looking at first home upgraders, right? Upgraders, usually one concern for them will be hoping to move to a bigger place. Hoping to move to a bigger place. So when we look at new launches, right, a lot of times when you are buying a new launch nowadays, right, we don't even talk about new condos. We talk about new BTOs. New BTOs. You know the size is considerable. Sorry, tongue tied. Is actually much smaller than the previous generations. Okay. Whether of course we do cannot forget the fact that sometimes the designs are better. Okay, but in general, size is smaller. So if today you are an upgrader, right, and your concern is upgrading to a bigger place, will buying a new one fulfill this need? Not necessarily, not necessarily. So if you were to ask me, right, in this aspect, you have to ask yourself already. If it is really a need for space, does it make sense to be going for a smaller one? Okay. So this is the one question you need to ask. Okay. Then secondly, right, the new ones gives you a better feeling. And resale are usually secondhand. But we think about it this way. Resale, right? Usually you can get the keys earlier. Why? Because it's already done up house. You get the keys, you start a renovation, maybe 6 months down the road, you can move in already. But new launches, okay, new launches, be it BTO, be it new condos, there's usually a time to wait. Okay, unless you bought at after completion, like for example, BTO, sales of balance unit. But you know, right? You know that usually when it comes to sales of balance unit, you may not be able to get those particularly good units unless you're paying a premium price, which is a higher price than the initial launch. I mean, if you were to ask me for BTOs, usually it's already at a higher price when it's completed. Sales of balance unit is usually already at a higher price, but of course there are some cases whereby it's different. Like example for Sengkang, right? Sengkang previously, their sales of balance unit, in fact, was lower than the launch. So mind you, please remember one thing. If people will tell you, it's always cheaper to buy at launch day, right? Well, I'm telling you, even HDB has happened before, okay, whereby sales of balance unit is cheaper, okay, price lower than the launch day because supply was weaker than demand. Sorry. Demand was weaker than supply. What the hell I'm saying? Okay, demand was weaker than supply. Okay, so this is the thing. So if you were to ask me, right? Well, if it's an urgent need, would you be able to wait? So this is another point to consider. If it's an urgent need, right? Yeah, I mean, you really need to move to the next house. Would you be able to wait for the completion? I don't really think so. Then we talk about next, the lesser reno and more reno. I think this is really up to individuals, see, because ultimately I've seen clients spending hundreds of thousands to renovate a brand new house from developer because they want that classy look. And I've seen clients, right, buying resale houses and the house is in a move-in condition. I mean, simple move-in. We don't talk about 100 over 1,000 reno by the ex-owner, because you must not forget this thing. Today you spend 100 over 1,000, right, to renovate a house. Doesn't mean that the new owner will appreciate your house, Doesn't mean the new owner will appreciate your taste. They may tell you one thing. So what? So what if you spend 100 of 1,000? I don't really think that this reno is worth 100 of 1,000. So this is the thing. And when it comes to this, right? So lesser renovation to consider or more renovation to consider. If you were to ask me, I don't think this is such a big factor, you see, because ultimately, to how extensive do you want the renovation to be, right? It's up to you as a buyer. So for this, I will say it's a draw. It's really up to how much reno you want. Not so much about need or want. So last, new launches maybe not as developed or mature, right? So this is usually when we can find in a lot of HDB flats. Like example, the new towns. Okay, I myself was one of the first movers to Choa Chu Kang when nothing was up, no MRT, no lot one, no nothing. So I can tell you, there was a lot of inconvenience. There was really a lot of inconvenience. But obviously, my parents' needs then was they wanted to move to a bigger, newer house. So we were upgrading from a 3-room flat to a 4-room flat. Okay. So when we move in, right, no choice. No choice. That's nothing to eat. So having mature, being in a mature place or a not so developed place, right, is really up to you already. So what are your needs and wants? If you tell me that you have a need, you have a need for growth potential, right? Maybe a new launch may fit your point. If you are going at correct entry price, on this, I really must tell you guys, it's always about the entry price. Again, you keep hearing me repeat this again and again and again. Because under my asset framework, right, I've already spoken. There's this ACE fluency test that you must pass before you purchase a property. Okay, the 3 points is affordability. Oh, whether that you can afford, comfortability, whether the new house is comfortable, and then escapability. Whether the purchase, right, the purchase that you make, right, it's easy to offload, or are there any options for you if one day you need to move out of that area? All these forms up my ACE fluency test, and it's very, very important when it comes to your purchase. So if you were to ask me, right, what are your needs? Very simple, very simple. You have to ask yourself. I can tell you almost 90% of the people I've spoken to, right, they will tell me this thing. Joel, it's not about making money, but you must have a place that I can stay comfortably and happily with my family. But the question is this: if today the house has great feng shui, amenities are all around you, and well, the house is bright and airy, but you know that you went in at the wrong entry price, and then the value keeps dropping every single day, would you still be happy? I can guarantee you this. Everybody is, not say everybody, most people are fine with not making a profit from their property because they don't think that I will sell. But everybody is uncomfortable with the fact that they lose money for the property that they own. This one is confirmed uncomfortable one. So that's why I will share this thing with you all. Again, I come back to the title today. What is the difference between wanting and needing a new home? I need to share this thing with you all. Please, please, please ensure that whatever decision you make is a genuine need. Okay? When all the needs are fulfilled, then you go and consider the wants. Yes, when all the needs are fulfilled, then you go and consider wants. Because wants is just like, I quote an example, you need a bed versus you want a brand new design from Siemens, is it Sealy? Sealy, or a simple design from IKEA. Those are wants. But needing a bed, a place to sleep, there is a need. So I hope you all consider carefully before purchasing a new home. You realize my title says wanting and needing a new home. I never say property investment. But think about it this way. If today your property investment, you are not even comfortable staying inside that house itself, right? Are you able to sell to somebody else or even rent it out? So I hate it. I particularly hate it when agents start telling their clients, don't worry, you buy for investment, you're not the one staying inside. This is bullshit. Sorry, I really must share this thing with you. This is bullshit, because if you yourself is not comfortable with that house, how can you expect future buyers or even your tenants, your prospective tenants, to be comfortable with the house? Think about it. Okay, so thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for joining me in this short video. I hope that I've shared something that is useful to you. Okay, Daddy Property Chef here. I'm Joel. Let's make you do well. Bye-bye.